Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Cara Shirley, and I am your digital news desk host. It is, what day is it? It's Tuesday. Why do I feel like it should be later in the week? And that is unfortunately not the case. But it is Tuesday, the November the 12th of November. Today's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday to my sister Layla. But it is a beautiful day outside. If you're tuning in on our website or on our news app, thank you so much for joining us. And if you're tuning in on our social channels, we stream on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok from time to time, and also Twitch. Let me know where you're tuning in from, where you are watching from. We have Miss Sophia Jordan here. It says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you as well. Thankfully, our streaming program that we have that allows us to stream and show your comments on our social channels is fixed now. So it actually will show y'all's names rather than it just being a Facebook user on there. So I'm glad to be able to see who I am watching, or who is watching me rather, and who is tuning in. Miss Sophia is tuning in from Vicksburg. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Before we jump into the news today, let's go ahead and take a look outside over downtown Jackson. It's quite beautiful looking out there. Beautiful blue skies. I now know why my husband said, I'm going fishing. Well, he's going fishing. I'm not going fishing. I'm working, but he is going fishing out there on Barnett, and it is a absolutely beautiful day to do that. Lots of sun. It's just a gorgeous day outside. So if you have the opportunity to get outside and enjoy it, do that. Looking here, Miss Carolyn is watching from Pearl. Hello, Carolyn. Helen is tuning in from Pensacola. Hi, Helen. Haven't been to Pensacola in a while. Thanks for tuning in. Lisa Coates is watching from Belzona. I always say that wrong, and I'm probably not the only person. I always want to say it Belzoni, and that's not right. Or is it? Let me know if I'm saying it right or how I should say it. Let's go ahead and jump into the news, get to some of the stories over here. So there was a shooting incident that happened on Burlington County Line Road, and police are investigating what has now turned out to be an armed robbery and shooting outside of a department store. This happened in Northeast Jackson. So this is a footage from the scene last night. It happened in the parking lot of the Burlington store at County Line Road and Ridgewood Roads. Ridgeland police say that the victim was shot in the chest and then ran across County Line to seek help at a fast food restaurant. Bless their hearts. We spoke with a woman who says that her family's car was in the line of fire. Several people were inside the vehicle when the shooting happened. Thankfully, though, no one was hurt. There was even children in the vehicle. It's a miracle with it being hit as many times as it did. I mean, it was riddled with bullet holes. It's a miracle that no one was hurt, and we're very thankful that happened. We don't have any word right now on the condition of the shooting victim or a suspect or even a motive at this time. But as soon as we get that information into us here at WLBT, we will pass it along to you. Now, if we look over in Vicksburg, police are investigating after two people were shot Sunday night over in Vicksburg. The Vicksburg Daily News reports that it happened on Farmer Street near Mundy Street. At least one of those victims was shot. The car was also damaged by gunfire a little bit down the road from Farmer Street. Or rather on Farmer Street down the road. If you have any information on this situation, if you live in that area, if you have Ring doorbell cameras, security cameras, check and see if you caught anything. Again, this happened Sunday night. Two people were shot. If you have any information that could help out the Vicksburg Police Department, please pass it along to them. We told you this earlier this week. Well, that was yesterday, wasn't it? Like I said, it is only Tuesday. I feel like it should be so much later in the week. We told you yesterday about a high-speed chase that happened, and it actually ended on Highway 80 here in Jackson. Well, the man that was arrested in that is also accused of trying to assault his girlfriend with a chainsaw of all things. My goodness, I would be terrified if I was that woman. So Jason Antonio Saltier was taken into custody early yesterday morning near the intersection of Highway 80 and Gallatin Street. The pursuit had begun after Rankin County Sheriff's deputies got a call from a woman asking for help to retrieve some belongings of hers that were inside a home. It was originally just like have a officer observe and try to keep the peace with that situation. Well, when the police officers were on the way to the home, the woman called back and said that the individual who we now know is this Jason here, that he actually tried to assault her with a chainsaw and he took off in her vehicle. We have information now from the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, and we're going to play that for you now.
The female complainant arrived on scene shortly before the deputy did, and the suspect emerged from the residence carrying a chainsaw, something you would use to cut down a tree. And so he came at her with the chainsaw, took the vehicle from her using the chainsaw as a weapon, and essentially carjacked her.
So authorities began pursuing Salter in the Florence area, and he's being charged with aggravated domestic violence, carjacking, and fleeing and eluding. He is being held without bond. So let's talk some more about the Jackson bribery scheme, the Jackson bribery scandal, however you want to refer to it, the bribery that is happening within the leaders of Jackson and Hinds County DA. So for them, for right now at least, it is business as usual. The mayor of Jackson and DA Jody Owens are not planning on stepping down from their roles because they say they are innocent. They did plead not guilty before a federal judge last week. So they are facing multiple charges in an ongoing federal bribery investigation. So the mayor of Jackson, Mayor Lamumba, is charged with conspiracy, federal program bribery, use of an interstate facility in the aid of racketeering, honest services, wire fraud, and money laundering. The mayor, he faces up to 75 years in prison and $1.5 million in fines if he is convicted. So the mayor can remain in office to continue doing his job unless he is convicted, pleads guilty, or resigns. And if that were to happen, the city council would then choose a city council
to say to the citizens of Jackson
for Jackson. As for District Attorney Jody Owens, his ability to do his job could become more difficult under the weight of this federal indictment.
More difficult, I think. It would be exponentially more difficult, I think, to be a district attorney under these circumstances. But still, he too enjoys a presumption of innocence and is not required to resign. I think the ability to bring charges against others while under a cloud of charges themselves is probably the trickiest piece to these recent indictments. It's hard enough to be mayor, it's harder still to stand with credibility in front of a grand jury.
The trial for both the mayor and DA is set for January the 6th, and we are going to be continuing to follow this all the way through to the end of it. A lot of you have voiced your opinions. We put a poll out on our website, and the majority of you did believe that they should step down from their roles. There was some that believed that they should not. I mean, after all, in our justice system, as this individual just said here, they are innocent until proven guilty. So technically they are innocent. They are innocent right now. They have not been charged or they have not been convicted of any crimes, which means they can stay in office. It does bring up a lot of questions, especially with DA Owens. Will a jury trust him? Will this be something that defense attorneys can use against him while he is trying a case? It just brings up a lot of those questions, and could make one think, is staying in that role the best thing for Hinds County? Is staying in the role of mayor the best thing for Jackson? Is staying in the role of a councilman as far as Banks goes, is that the best for the council for the city of Jackson for his ward? These are only questions that you can answer, or these are questions that only you can answer, and these are questions that only the DA and the councilman and the mayor can answer as well. It's just there's a lot of questions that it brings up here. We'd love to hear the answers from them to those questions, what their thoughts are on it. If they would like to reach out to us, or we can reach out to you, just let us know if there's something that you are game to answer. But a lot of you have spoken out, and a lot of you do believe that they should resign. Right now, though, it is business as usual. Also, if you would like to keep our find more information on the bribery scheme that has happened, you can go to our website, Wlbt.com, or you can scan the QR code on your screen and that will take you there. That is going to give you all of the coverage that we have done on this and give you information that you may not have at the time. Also, don't forget to go ahead and download the WLBT News app so that you can get notifications on breaking news as it happens. See Angela here from the Mike magazine saying hello from Greenville. Hello, Miss Angela. How are you doing? Easton says trial with a question mark. Easton, did I say trial? Did I say that? I know that there is the trial for both the mayor and the DA is set to start January 6th. That's what it's scheduled for right now. That could be pushed out. That could be canceled if they sign a plea deal. I mean, there's a lot of things that could make that not happen on that day. But so far, as of right now, that is when the trial is scheduled for. And that's going to be January the 6th, and we will be there following it. So let's talk about here in the Jackson area, the Metro Center Mall that is closed, and a handful of businesses are trying to operate near the closed mall. They're having a difficult time, according to them, battling the conditions of the environment around them. So the road surrounding the mall is in terrible shape. You can see here lots of potholes. It's making it difficult to access the fast food restaurants, bank, and a church that is there in that area. In addition to these deep potholes, drivers have to dodge amounts of trash and other debris that is being dumped out there on the road. People trying to remain in the area say that they do feel forgotten about by the city.
We need some help in that area to keep clean up our jacks. We're dealing with potholes, and we oftentimes come out and poured our rocks and tried to temporarily fix it. But we as a church shouldn't have to go and fix our streets.
They're hoping to benefit from some of the funding that has been generated by the city's 1% infrastructure sales tax, and that the city will come and pick up the debris. Hopefully that will happen soon and clean up that area. If they can't at least repair the roads right away, they can pick up the trash. That could happen. And that was Pastor Anthony Ratcliffe that talked to us there. Looking back at our comment section, we have Angela who says another J6. Yes, Angela, that is quite a how would we describe that? Odd date. It's a coincidence, a date there. But yes, so the trial so far for DA Owens, Mayor Lumumba, and Councilman Banks is scheduled for January the 6th. So let's talk about the election and how this year's election is fueling some redistricting debate. We've checked in with Democrats who are still raising a red flag after Election Day about the geography of newly redrawn redistricting lines, especially in Mississippi's 2nd congressional district. So we've learned that while no legal challenge has been filed at this point, there are still groups out there that are considering filing a legal challenge. Congressman Benny Thompson, who won re-election in the district with more than 61% of the votes, or he did win the re-election. Lawmakers moved 4 southwestern counties into the district in an attempt to make up for a population loss.
Well, you're stretched from the top of the very top of Mississippi to the very bottom, from the north to the south. It makes it very difficult. Just the geography of the district, meaning that you're covering more mileage.
The federal court order will require lawmakers to redraw some of the legislative lines next session, and they're going to hopefully create at least 2 additional Black majority districts in the Senate and 1 in the House. Coming here, looking at Casey Holmes says it is just so sad how Jackson is now. And Stephanie Jacobs as well. Jackson Gaming Commission have 8.6 million. Will that help some of the cleanup in Jackson? That is not something that I can answer because I'm not. I don't have the information you're asking for there. But that does as a great question, and that is something that I will bring up in the newsroom to see if that's something that would help there. But thank you so much for asking the question, Stephanie. Before we go any further, let's hear from. I get that messed up so much. I can't. It's like my brain just will not correct what I'm supposed to be saying there. But we are going to take a. I did it again. We're going to hear from our sponsor, Jackson Water.
Hey Jackson, curious about our water system? Join the Jackson Water Academy to get the inside scoop on our water and sewer operations. 3 sessions, 3 months, and a whole lot of hands-on know-how. You'll even get a behind-the-scenes tour of the O.B. Curtis Water Treatment Plant. So if you're ready to dive in, head to jacksonwater.com/Water Academy or give us a ring at 601-500-5200 to apply. But hurry, spots are going fast.
And again, thank you so much to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Looking here, Ebony Carr has joined us, and she says, "Hey, Cara." Hi, Ebony. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Royal Ferguson is tuning in from West Point. Thank you so much. And let's see, what else? I thought something a second ago, and I have lost it now. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Hey, don't forget to share the stream. Share this out with people that are maybe you think may be interested in it, or you just want to share it with. Share the information, share the news with. Also, if you are watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, make sure that you make sure that you subscribe or you follow us on our streaming channel so that you can get all of the notifications when we post new stories or when we go live like we do here. So let's look at the weather real quick. Look at our forecast and our current temperatures outside, the outside that my husband is enjoying right now on Ross Barnett. I'm not jealous of him at all. We're looking at 78 in Jackson, 74 Hazelhurst, 65 down in Macomb. Looks pretty cool. I don't know if the radar just hasn't updated or what, but hey, if that's what it is, that's awesome. Our forecast, or rather our radar outside, is not showing any rain in the area. If we look over the next 12 hours, we have a little chance of rain picking up in the overnight hours, dropping down into the upper 60s. And our 7-day forecast has 80% chance of rain tomorrow, with a 30% chance on Thursday, and then some beautiful, absolutely beautiful weather this weekend. Friday, a high of 69, Saturday, 72, and Sunday, 77, with 0% chance of rain and an abundance of sunshine. It's beautiful, going to be beautiful out there. Make sure you get out there and enjoy it, or at least try to get out there and enjoy it. I know I will for sure. We do have some sad news that we want to talk about real quick, and that is the loss of a veteran law enforcement officer here in the metro. A lot of people out there are mourning the death. Madison Police Department, they did pass on the information yesterday that Lieutenant Chris PQ died from an injury at his hunting camp on Sunday night. So PQ was an administrator, was an administration and K-9 supervisor for the Madison PD. He was one of the many agencies that he served in his career. He was with several agencies. He previously worked with Rankin County's interdiction and K-9 units. Both departments issued a statement mourning his death, and they say that they are definitely praying for family and his friends, as are we here at WLBT. So his funeral will be held this Thursday at Broadmoor Baptist Church in Madison. Visitation will be at 10 o'clock that morning, followed by the funeral at noon. PQ will be buried at the Monterey Baptist Church Cemetery in Louisiana. And again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to his family and to all of the fellow law enforcement officers that worked with him in his career, and to the city that he served, the county that he served, Madison. But again, his funeral will be held. His funeral will be held on Thursday. Visitation is from 10 until noon. The funeral is from noon until 1, and then burial will follow in Monterey, Louisiana. So, it has some good news that happened yesterday, or we heard about yesterday, with it being Veterans Day. We found out about some veterans in Rolling Fork that got a couple of surprises a couple of days before Veterans Day. So let's show you this. It's really awesome. So 2 veterans in Rolling Fork had their livelihoods impacted by the destructive and deadly tornado. Amima says the Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi and the Boss Lady Economic Foundation. How awesome is that name? The Boss Lady Economic Foundation helped raise the funding to build these new homes. FEMA and MEMA worked to make sure their specific needs were met. The veterans say they're thankful and blessed to be living in these new homes.
Well, I stayed in a hotel for 6 to 8 months. Then I came back to Rolling Fork in October. And I've been trying to get everything together. They came out and asked, they found out that I was wheelchair bound. They built this ramp and they refortified the floors in the trailer, and they made the bathrooms accessible with handrails.
MEMA also sent out a thank you to all of the veterans. This makes me want to cry. It just does. It makes me want to cry, because when a community comes together to support people, especially people like these veterans who spent their time serving our country, well, it's the best part of Mississippi, isn't it? It's the best part of Mississippi. I love seeing things like that, and I'm so happy for those veterans getting their new homes, especially after their lives were just devastated with those tornadoes that came through in Rolling Fork. Speaking of the tornadoes that came through in Rolling Fork, the total cost of damage from climate-related weather events globally over the last decade was about $2 trillion. That's a lot. $2 trillion. I don't even know that I could write out that many zeros. Of course, that's according to an estimate by the International Chamber of Commerce, and it's in line, or roughly in line, with the economic toll of the 2008 global financial crisis. So this report assessed nearly 4,000 weather events across 6 continents from 2014 to 2023. It combines both the direct monetary toll from the destruction of homes, destruction of businesses and infrastructure, and the impact of extreme weather on human productivity. Chamber says its goal with that report is to push governments and businesses to accelerate policies that would hopefully reduce greenhouse gas emission, which directly contribute to global climate change. So President-elect Donald Trump has promised to undo climate regulations in the U.S., including rolling back pollution limits on tailpipes and power plants. But even you just look back at that number, $2 trillion over the past decade in damages from weather-related. That's crazy. That is an astronomical amount for sure. let's end on some good news, some fun news. I'm sure kids at Pearl Elementary School, Pearl Upper Elementary School, had a lot of fun yesterday when they got to meet a professional football player. So here he is here on your screen. Green Bay Packers wide receiver Malik Heath was on campus to visit one of his former teachers, which I think is awesome in its own right. Emily Brewer, who is his former teacher, she currently teaches at Pearl Upper Elementary. So he graduated from Callaway High School here in Jackson and then later played for Mississippi State and Ole Miss. And he told students in Pearl about the positive impacts Miss Brewer had on him and his journey to the NFL. How awesome is that? Look at them. They just look like they're having so much fun. And I think it's a beautiful thing that he came back to see his teacher that had impact on him growing up. Love that. Well, guys, that is going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:30 today. Our First Alert weather team will be in here to give you a in-depth look at an amazing forecast. So make sure you tune into that. And then make sure you're tuning into our newscast later tonight so that you can get updates on the stories we're working on today, stuff that you're definitely going to want to hear. I will be back tomorrow at 1. I hope you guys have a great day.